This car started out as a bone stock 2004 Honda Accord. Today, it's a Hellcat swap Honda that is now called the Hellcord, and it makes over 1,000 horsepower. This is how it all started. Way back in the day, I just wanted to, get into modifying this car just a little bit, throwing some underglow. Now, before that, of course, it was tinted because I couldn't run around in a fishbowl. But the underglow was the very beginning of this whole account too. Like, my very first TikTok was me with the underglow when we just finished installing it for the first time. Now the underglow is broken, and this is the second one. After the underglow phase, I decided to do a little bit more to this vehicle while it was stock, like working the exhaust a little bit, plastic dip the rims, just, classic beginner car guy stuff. Then it was time to get serious. As you can see, I don't have this play for nothing. If you don't know what this play is, then you just don't know. I'm not going to explain it to you. You will have no clue what I'm talking about. But I finally decided to do some major work on this vehicle, took out the old V6, and dropped in a supercharged 6.2 Hemi from a Hellcat. For the first few days, this was actually front-wheel drive. I didn't use a Hellcat transmission. That's not really possible. Now, a lot of people thought it was fake just because of that, because they're not really thinking. So the transmission I did use, it was from an LS4, and of course, it didn't hold power pretty well. Probably 3 days max, I blew the transmission, and then after that, this was down for probably like a good 3 months or so, and I made rear-wheel drive. It was time to upgrade that stock 707 horsepower Hellcat engine. Even though that horsepower in a 3,000 pound car is pretty quick, it could always be quicker. So I decided it needs to be chopping, threw in a huge cam, long tube headers, straight pipe, core and gas. Like, I did it all. FBO, core supercharger, you name it. It was done to this engine, and now it makes over 1,000 horsepower and can sprint to 60 miles per hour in only 1.5 seconds. After making 1,000 horsepower in a 3,000 pound car, I decided it was time to upgrade the drivetrain. So I took an all-wheel drive system from a track car and threw it in here. And also at the time, it was still sitting pretty high, like the whole car. Like, here's a before picture, and look at the car now. It's on the ground pretty much, and a lot of people asking me to lower it. So y'all happy now? I decided to do a little bit cosmetically, the claw mark, the hood vents, and of course, being for real, this is to make it look like a sleeper. Like, when you see this, a lot of people just straight up talk like, oh, it's a ricer, look how crunchy it looks. That's the point though, because you're not going to suspect for this to actually have something if it looks like this. And to give it a little bit of its personality, of course, it needs to have a Hellcat badge on the side that I got from a Hellcat that I raced that spun out and crashed in a ditch. I took his badge, so that's why it has the war marks on it. Got some bigger wheels from a newer Honda. Made a custom Hellcord badge and added an SRT badge from the back. So now the whole vehicle with the badging, it looks how it should be. Professional, correct, accurate badging on the vehicle. And at the same time, it's still somewhat of a sleeper because, like I said, most people will see this, and if they don't know the car, they're not going to think it has much in it. Now, if you do know the car, it doesn't matter what next, you're going to know what's in it. Now, as you can imagine, driving a vehicle like this, the sheer amount of G-forces that you're going to feel, and just the overall experience with a car that's this loud, this fast, gets so much attention, it's quite the experience. If you want to really know what the experience is to drive the Hellcord, well, I made a whole video by it. It's on screen right now, and all you gotta do is click it to go watch it.